he played a fairly big role. Actually, when Reagan was shot, he was the chief of staff, and he said he made the claim, "I'm in charge here," while he was waiting for Vice President Bush to show up, and that caused a whole media frenzy because they assumed it was like an attempted coup, and I believe the Russians were freaking out over it. They didn't know what was going on, but so that is the first building here. I'm gonna head over to their other annex. Is the annex open now? All right, cool.
Yeah, I'll go over there and then turn the heat on and whatnot, and you can come over later.
We're gonna head over to the annex over here. I didn't catch your name. What is
John?
John here is gonna open it up for us. This is where all the fun vehicles are. I mean, the Hago is cool and all, but this is where the real stuff begins.
Well, on the way, we'll see if there's any questions or comments of those.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, drop them in the chat. I'm happy to answer them or ask them. What was that? How many people are watching the stream right now?
61.
61 for now? All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a little earlier than we usually do, but it'll pick up. Plus, we always get I don't know what, a few hundred after the stream watching it online.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are planning our World War I event, April 10th.
Yeah. April 10th, you said?
April 10th and 11th.
All right, so April 10th and 11th, they're going to be doing a World War I reenactment. If anyone wants to come out to Vincennes, Indiana, and check that out. And then also in September, you do your World War. Yeah, Labor Day weekend, they do their World War II reenactment, and they'll drive tanks around and all sorts of World War II vehicles.
One day,
on June 19th, they do their Vietnam reenactment event.
And this is all, of course, subject to.
Yeah, it's subject to change with COVID.
I mean, like last year, we had to cancel our World War I event the day before.
Oh, yeah, we had plans at the Air Force Museum, and they were all.
Yeah, we had reenactors come anyway. I mean, they didn't know what else to do. So.
Fair enough.
We have U.S. Army tanker that said that he was during the U.S. operations in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Okay, that's cool. Well, we got some vehicles over there. He'll probably recognize over in the other corner. He'll show off.
You've been in someone said start the trench system.
I was here when you started it. Yeah.
Not yet, but we're getting there. We're working on it when we have time.
So
our World War I trench with no man's land.
All right. Yeah. If you walk in here, it's a view of what you would have if you were in World War I trench. You can see there's no man land out there.
This is all under construction right now.
Yeah. It's not finished yet, but it's getting there. But yeah, so you'd have these little hovels that you'd dig out, and that's where you'd put your beds and your cooking ware. And we come on through.
There's going to be a bridge that goes over.
Okay, will be a bridge.
Everything on top will be covered with mud and barbed wire.
Oh, that's cool.
Student lighting, of course. Headquarters.
Yeah, so you got your little headquarters outpost over here. We'll be over here.
This will be a place for the mortar, French mortar.
Okay, so you're gonna put a. Is there gonna be a real mortar there? Or? All right. So then, if we come over here, we have a U.S. M1917, based off the Renault. What's the designation? I'm forgetting it.
FT17.
FT17. Yeah, you got it. This one, I believe it's you found most of the parts, and then
yeah, most of the chassis is original. There's some original tracks.
Yeah, so
the top half turrets and such been rebuilt.
So the turret's been rebuilt. Some of the tracks have been rebuilt, but some of them are. But it's mostly original. We got a French mortar back here. This is actually really interesting. This is actually a machine gun mount off of a A7V, and this is an actual machine gun mount off of one, right? It's one of the few remaining pieces of a A7V tank in the world. I believe this one came off the one that was at Aberdeen, right?
Yes, the Nixie too.
Yeah, so it came off the Nixie 2 at Aberdeen, which was
They have two of those.
oh no.
Terrible.
That's really cool to see. That's something I wasn't expecting. But as you can see, there's a few vehicles I got to show off in here. This is actually a Renault ground vehicle. I think this is the only one surviving in the world. This was a medical vehicle, and this is where they would actually come in and boil the medical instruments so that they would be sanitized. We come over here. We have a Humvee with a machine gun mounted on top. Your standard Humvee. Nothing too special. We have some other World War I artillery back there. We have a Jeep with a 106 recoilless on the back. The 106 recoilless you'll find a lot of in the in War Thunder. You can even see the casings back there. We have a Mule here, which is a lightweight transport meant to be air transportable. Small engine just gets you where you're going. We have a Vietnam War era ambulance. If we come over here, we have a 75 millimeter pack howitzer, which is meant to be mounted on aircraft, as well as a 76 millimeter cannon, I believe, artillery piece. Actually, that might be.
I think that one is one of those 105 guns.
I don't think it's a 105. I think it's I'm not even sure. Is it? Trying to think if that one's Russian or not. I can't remember.
Oh, the 122, the D20.
Maybe. Right here we have a T-34-85. This one came from the Marines. They loaned it out to this museum. Not the best paint scheme on it, but I can't fault them for that. We also have a this is an M4A1E8, which is a very interesting number of subvariants for an M4A1. They just would not let this thing retire. Over here we have a Paladin, the M109, I believe it is.
Yes.
A self-propelled artillery vehicle. I think if they're going to add the Type 75 to the game, that they should add the Paladin. I think that would be a
maybe we'll see. We'll see it one day.
We have an M5A1 Stuart here. I'm not going to make that mistake again. M5A1 Stuart. This one is drivable, as well as the Sherman over there. They do drive that around during the World War II days. We have some more bomb carts over here, as well as a DC-3 nose. Gotta speed this up a little bit. We have a Vickers universal carrier here, your little universal machine gun carrier, and you can stick larger weapons up top here, and it's just your little British, American, Canadian tankette. We come over here. We have a Pack 40 from Germany.
The fearsome
Uh,
Pack 40.
the fearsome Pack 40, yes.
Killed a lot
I
of tanks.
believe this facade here is from a video game, but I can't for the life of me remember which one they told me it was, but they used it as the model for a game. And
Ooh,
then had
so
nothing to
really.
do with it, so they donated it to a museum. We have a few ground transport vehicles. We have another Jeep here. We have a Deuce and a half. We have a flak 43 40 millimeter cannon here, used by the German army. We have a another 40 millimeter cannon here. I don't know which variant it is. I believe it is also German though. We have an M3 half track. Always love the M3 half track. You can see this one has two 50 cals on it. We have a Dodge half-ton command car. I believe this is the Dodge 3.5 ton or 3/4 ton. We have a weapons carrier trailer here. Few more transport vehicles. And this brings us back around to ambulance, and then it brings us back around to the Sherman again. You can see that it's a very strange Sherman. It's got the rounded edges of the M4. It's got the 76 millimeter cannon. I mean, this thing, gosh, this one I believe was used by the National Guard well into the 70s.
Yeah, I
That
guess
one.
more of the
But it's
strategic defense reserve more than anything.
pretty much, which is why they didn't let it die and why it's an easy 8, despite being an M4A1. Over here we have a Japanese Rentai Ho 75 millimeter gun. If we come over here, we have an actual Higgins boat used for amphibious landings from 1945. We come over here, you can see this one's holding a Jeep. These were what were used on D-Day. They were used on Iwo Jima. It was pretty much the standard landing craft for anything you needed. Here's another rare Japanese vehicle at this museum. They have a Chiha, a Shinoto Chiha. This one was captured by the Marines in 1943. And this was another donation by the U.S. Marine Corps to this museum. You can also see some American PT boat gun mounts here. We have a 40 millimeter here and then a twin 20 millimeter mount back there. This is what was known as the Burma Jeep. This was a your general bomb service and cargo hauler vehicle during World War II. These are actually fairly rare to find in the U.S. This one, as you can see, is carrying a mine. We also have a Mark 14 torpedo over here. Yet another thing that is familiar to anyone who has played naval in War Thunder. This is actually the original barracks from nearby George Army Airfield in Lawrence, Indiana. You can see it is a fully accurate reproduction. So you'd have your standard officers' quarters here. You needed a tooth pulled or you needed surgery, you'd come here. If it was your day to work, you came here. We have this gorgeous Chevy here. Just,
Those cars
DeSoto.
were something else back in the day of them.
Oh yeah, the 1940s cars are just gorgeous, especially with the army paint on them. I always love it. we come over here, we have the Chevy fire truck from the nearby Freeman base, I believe, or not Freeman, George Field. That's right. We also have a M3 37 millimeter cannon. There's the gun carrier over there again, and here we have a 37. I believe this is the same mount off of the M15 in game, the twin 50s with the 37 millimeter
Oh
autocannon in the
yeah,
middle.
probably, yeah, absolutely.
And this is obviously a trailer mounted version of it. There's the back view of the Chiha.
Hello there.
We also have some engines over here. There was a manufacturing plant nearby, and this is sort of representing that. This was actually a training aid, I believe, and they've made it up to look like a production line, which is really cool. This is their war at home setup to sort of represent the home front and all the changes that were made during World War II to get us through the
That's
war.
pretty good.
We also have a another 3-inch artillery cannon. There's a bit about the last cavalry of war in World War One. That's about it for this annex. I
Pretty
do
good.
want to get outside. I got about a half hour before I have to go, so I want to show off everything outside. So yeah, if anyone has any questions about that,
Let's see.
I'll be headed outside.
Was someone was
Just
saying that
local for now. I would
one of
hope to go
those 40
worldwide
mil.
one day. We had people do tours down in mostly. I've done most of the tours, and we also had some people down in Alabama do some tours of museums down there. But we're working on we're getting a network of people going to show off places all around the
Well, I
world.
can't stress enough. Tell your friends, come see us.
Absolutely.
Send donations. We're all
Absolutely.
100% volunteer.
Yeah, they like you said, we
Yes,
are
sir.
all 100% volunteer. If you go to, is it indiemuseum.com? Indiemilitary.com is the website.
Yeah.
So if you want to donate, you can either come visit it in person, make donations here. They have a wonderful gift shop. I actually bought a rifle launch grenade last time I was here.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, I showed that off to you guys.
But all the
But
links will be posted
yeah.
when available and when we
If
get closer to the stream.
if you do want to donate, I'll post the link in the chat as well. But indiemilitary.com has their donation link if you can't make it down here.
Yeah.
Anyways, does anyone have any questions, Alex?
No, not really. Someone was just
Not really?
commenting that one of those anti-aircraft ones, one of them was apparently a 37 millimeter, apart from the 40
Yeah.
mil.
Oh, okay. 30. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, no, just a little thing.
Easy thing to confuse. Anyways, I'll
So you can think when you're picturing get that back up or drive around there.
Hmm.
We've got a flak 88 gun. Just
I saw that. I saw that one's from Britain, isn't it? And they demilled it.
Britain, yeah.
Oh, they demilled it by.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a shame.
But we'll put it back together. We've got a Stearman trainer plane coming that's set in here.
Yep.
Eventually, and we've got the Kuba wagon motor in the Kuba wagon now, and it's
Okay.
over in the other shop.
So you got the Kuba wagon running out. Yeah, they do have a Kuba wagon. I was wondering where that
We got a
went
German
off
half
to.
track over there. Of course, we get all that stuff out in September.
Yeah. So if you come down here in September, you can see a German SD KFZ running. You can see a Kuba wagon. You can see that Sherman running and the Stewart over there. So yeah, I definitely recommend coming down here. I'm going to try and get down here in September, definitely. But yeah, even when they're not running an event, this museum is definitely well worth the drive.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got a submarine out in the front yard.
Yep, they got a. I'm about to make it out there and show them the rest of the museum out there, so I'm going to point that out. Yeah, I had a fall recently on ice, so I've learned to.
Yeah.
It's been a few years since I had snow in Dayton. It's taken me a while to get used to it again. So yeah, so that is all of the indoor portion. They do have plenty outdoors. I am going to show off if the wind behaves, hopefully. I'll start off right here. We have a duck, which was an amphibious vehicle meant for crossing rivers and landing. It is. You actually see a lot of duck tours with these. They'll do tours around cities and drive through the rivers. But I believe a lot of them capsized recently, so they sort of stopped doing those. Yeah, there's been more than a few accidents. How's the wind? Is it?
The wind, it's appropriate. It's not ear blasting so far.
Worst case scenario, I can go grab my headphones and put my hood up. But
yeah, it's fine.
we have some 3-inch guns over here, along with some more 16-inch shells. Don't know what ships those are off of. I could probably head over and read it. As you can see, it is winter here. We don't have that wonderful weather that Alex has right now.
Sure.
It doesn't.
Well, I suppose these things were all over the place, right? Like in every
Yeah,
chip, the
there are
equipment of this.
millions of these. I mean, not millions. There are hundreds of these things. The 3-inchers, everything had them. Here are the stands for the World War II show. They'll come out here and parade vehicles around for you. The wind's picking up. I'm going to try and get around these buildings as fast as I can. Here's a workshop they have for building their various smaller buildings and reenactment tools and so on. Over here, I asked around and I could never get a straight answer. They have P-51 wings right here for some reason. You can see them right there. I don't know why. I don't know where those came from, but those are legitimate P-51 wings. I'm wondering where the rest of the thing is, but never got an answer on that.
Preparing some things for the future, I guess.
I guess. If we come over here, there are other military vehicles. They have a huge old junkyard over here as well, full of various rusted out Hulks. They have an M6 fast moving trailer tractor over there. Got a Volkswagen. There's a cat. We got a bunch of cats here. This is the only reason I'm back here. I wanted to show this off. Really is a shame, Britain. I hope you can change your laws someday. But there's a Flak 88 that they got from Britain recently, a few months back, maybe a year. And to demill or demilitarize it, they cut giant holes out of the barrel there, which is really a shame. I mean, you can get around with just removing the firing pin and stuff from those things and you demill it in the US. Like, drilling a giant hole through a piece of history like that is not my idea of preservation. So that's always a shame, but it is a beautiful example of Flak 88 other than that. Here's their restoration facility. They have a huge collection of artillery pieces and other memorabilia that they don't have room for, or aren't ready to show, or they're running vehicles that they bring out. They have a OT-810 in there, which is a Czech reproduction, or a Czech SDKFZ 251 that the Czechs used during, or not 251, the German half track.
Yeah, the Hanomag.
Got like 10 designations, depending on what stick on the back. They do have aircraft. We have an A4B over here. The famous Skyhawk.
Yeah. With a pretty similar camo than we have in War Thunder. The standard.
Absolutely. Yeah. If we come over here, this is I believe it's a S2 something Gvozdika.
Oh, the Botstika. Yeah, the artillery.
Yeah, the Gvozdika, which is a Russian self-propelled artillery vehicle. Last time I was here, there were wasp nests growing all over it, so hopefully that's not the case. The 2S1, that's right, the 2S1 Gvozdika. We have a T-33 over here. This was a trainer aircraft designed after the P-80. Main difference is these integrated wingtip fuel tanks and the lack of guns, bigger radar in the nose, and 2 seats in the cockpit. Right next to this U.S. trainer is a pretty common Soviet Republic trainer, the TS-11 Iskra. It was a Polish aircraft designed by the Polish PZL company. It would carry a 37 right here, and then I believe 2 20 millimeters lower down under the nose. It'd be an interesting jet to see in low tier, but I don't know if that'll ever happen. We'll have to see. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna come over here and show off the. This is a F4D, known as the City of Dayton 3. I am from Dayton. This was actually the guard plane outside of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, which is where the museum I work at is. When they eventually stopped using it as the gate guardian, they sent it here, which is really cool. That was a really cool thing to see. So you can see this is a F4D. It still has the big nose, just like the C. Hadn't had the upgraded radar yet. We come over here. We have a Huey. I think everyone knows what the Huey is. If you don't, your homework is to go watch, Apocalypse Now. Basically.
Oh yeah. Now that I see that blue thing, Rokker, could you tell the people why all those things are there? Like those.
Yeah. So if I took this off, right under here is a pitot tube, which is how you measure your airspeed in aircraft. The problem with it is it's very sharp and pointy, and it has a habit of poking people who aren't careful. So for the people who don't work around airplanes that visit museums, they put those pool noodles over them so that people don't run into them and poke a hole in their face. We come over here. This here is a TM-76. That stands for Tactical Missile 76. There's a 76th missile designed by the U.S. These could be fitted with conventional or nuclear weapons. They would. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna get these gloves on because it's actually cold out.
Yeah.
They would fly to the target, and then when they got there, they would drop the wings off. They would explode off. Basically, they had explosive bolts in them. I'm still streaming, right? Yeah, good.
Yeah, it
I
is.
press any wrong buttons. These wings would pop off, and the rest of the missile would ballistically fall to the target. We come over here. You have a C-47 here, the workhorse of the American Air Force's cargo transports. We have a now this one I'm pretty sure is a 40 millimeter. I'm fairly confident saying that. We also have a let me double check on this one. I don't want to get it wrong. Yeah, the M115 howitzer. It's an 8-inch howitzer based off a naval gun. You can see it's got a rather
It's a big as gun.
large,
Is there to say?
This here, I believe it's the M110. No, M114. It's a 155 millimeter howitzer, which is wonderfully large. We have some Russian SPA or Russian anti-air artillery over here. I believe these are dual 57s, just like what you see on the ZSUs. I think that's what we decided on last time we saw it, right, Alex?
Yeah. This one is I think it's the same configuration as the one in the game, the 57 too.
Yeah.
Only softer bells.
We come over here, we have a searchlight. We have another Jeep. This here is a 90 millimeter anti-air cannon. This is what was the U.S.'s main anti-air weapon was for large-scale flak, laying down flak. We didn't have to use it as much as the Germans did because no one ever really flew over the U.S., but we did use them at some air bases. We come over here, we have I believe this is a 76 millimeter cannon. It looks like it. We also have a Model 18 Beechcraft, also known as the UC 76 or 67. I want to say 67. Oh, it's UC 45. Oh, this is the Expediter. Ignore me. I got my twin engine utility cargo aircraft mixed up. Sorry. This here is a attempt to return an A-26 to its former glory. After the war, there was a company called OnMark that converted a bunch of A-26s to CEO transports, basically VIP transports. And this was the first prototype attempted that. Unfortunately, that involved cutting off the nose and getting rid of the turrets. So they replaced them. Kind of wish they did a little better job, but I can't really fault them for not, having aircraft reproduction capabilities.
Yeah.
It still is an A-26 at heart. It's really cool to see one here. We also have a MiG-15 or MiG-17 over here. This is a 17F, so it would have the afterburner if the engine's in there. I'm not confident that the engine's in there.
No, not really. This one is in a Vietnamese livery.
Yeah, Vietnamese camo. We also have an F-16A here, also known as the American MiG-21. as I've been told many times before.
Beautiful aircraft. One of my
Gorgeous
favorites.
aircraft. It's definitely my favorite.
Mm.
We have a MiG-21 over here. This is actually the newest addition to the museum. They don't even have a pool noodle for it yet, so they've put this bottle on instead. They also have, sorry, there we go. They have another M114 155 millimeter cannon. They got two of them. Why not? This is the oldest artillery piece outdoors. This is a British, I believe it's a 6-pounder. Let me double check. It is the BL-60. Oh, it's a 60-pounder. I knew it was off by a number.
60 pound. This one was
Yeah.
more.
You can see these big old, these old tires here. These old wheels. Before we started just sticking car tires on all of them and driving them around with trucks. I can't imagine being the horse that has to pull this thing though. That would kind of suck.
Yeah.
Over here are the newest vehicles they have outdoors, at least the newest ground vehicles. They have a LAV. I believe this one was, is it the 25? It's the one with the mortar that comes out the top, because you have the mortar doors there.
Yeah, it's the M or something
And
like
we have a captured Iraqi BMP as well. I think it's Iraqi. It's either Iraqi or Soviet. You can see this one's a little covered in snow, so it's a bit camouflaged, but
that.
it is a BMP nonetheless. You'd fall down these doors when you're traversing in the water.
Reflected.
Yep. Let's get over to these vehicles, and that'll be it for this stream. Then I got to get going to the next museum. They have some more artillery pieces over here. I believe this is a World War One or no, this is a early World War Two artillery piece. You can see the big old hydraulic. This was actually over yonder last time I was here. We have another 3-inch gun here. This is actually really cool. This is the mast of the USS Indiana, which was a nuclear submarine. I think it was a Virginia class. I can't remember quite off the top of my head. This is only the mast of it. The rest of it is fake concrete. But when they're decommissioning these, they sent the mast here to this museum, which is really cool. Over here, you have a Sexton Mark II. I believe this one is close to running. They just need to get it certified to run by a British expert, which it's hard to get Brits over here right now. So this is a Sexton Mark II self-propelled artillery gun. Is my stream still good?
Yeah.
All right,
Both
cool.
good.
We have another M3 half track. These are a dime a dozen. I think they have 3 or 4 of them that I've seen. We have an M114 over here, which is a command vehicle during Vietnam. We have a what's the name of it? I always forget the name of it.
The M35, I think it was.
Maybe, yeah. So a Vietnam era transport truck. These are the ones they built gun trucks out of, and they just stick, like 10 M60s on the back.
Yeah.
We have an M8 Greyhound. Anyone who's played China or or has the American gift vehicle is going to recognize this. It is a shame that it's sitting outside like this, but it's still in pretty good condition, all things considered. We have an M2A1 105mm howitzer here. We have some tank engines over here. And then we have an M48. Or no, M47. M47. That's right. So this is an M47. You can tell by the little, the smaller back on here than the M46 or the M48. But it's a little back protrusion where you stick your ammo. See these big old exhaust mufflers. And then we have LVT-4, a U.S. Marine Corps landing craft. So you would land this on the beach, and the Marines would pour out the back here. You mount machine guns on top, or if you play China again, the American gift vehicle, they had the ones with the ZIS cannons mounted on top, or
the C5
with the 76 on top. It's a pretty easy platform to show various weaponry onto. I guess the last thing I have to show off here, the last thing is this over here is a Mark 14 torpedo dedicated to sailors that have lost their lives in the U.S. military. And that pretty much concludes my visit. We have a flag dedicated to all Indiana veterans and all Knox County veterans. These flagpoles here to remind us of the cost of war and what is sacrificed for it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, like I said, that's the Indiana Military Museum.
Oh yeah,
And
there you go for the, because I think there was someone asking where you at. So this one is the Indiana. How was it? Indiana Military.
Indiana Military.